Hello. Welcome back to another Fade Yaps. Today we have Nikke in the background, and that's mostly because this topic, which was suggested to me by Foxy, or Stray Fox, on Twitch, Blue Sky, and Twitter, and YouTube, they suggested to me that I should talk about my favorite Gacha character of all time, Dorothy. At least Gacha original character. And wow, I love Dorothy a lot as a character. So this is what, if you're looking at the screen, this is what she normally looks like. She's Nikke from, oh, I guess I should specify that this will have a bit of Nikke spoilers, so look out for those, I guess. But she's a Nikke from an organization called Eden, and she actually released on the 0.5 anniversary, the first 0.5 anniversary of Nikke. Fun fact, I was actually not gonna be playing Nikke much longer after the initial start. I'm like, okay, I've had enough, I'm done. And then they released her, and I'm like, okay, I'll just go pull for her and stop playing. And then I played her side story because I need to get gems for it, and there was voice acting, so I might as well listen anyways. And it dragged me in. I still play Nikke on and off here and there, mostly because of that side event and this character. There's other events and stuff for sure, but that one specifically made me want to play Nikke more and more, mostly for the story. So, why is she my favorite? Well, pink hair, fluffy dress, hello. W. But also, her backstory is really depressing. They made her backstory pretty dark and depressing, because it turns out that she used to be part of Goddess Squad. And if you don't know what Goddess Squad is in Nikke, it's pretty much this OG set of Nikkes that were protecting the world, that everyone looked up to and valued, But eventually, the event starts you off with Captain missing. One of your friends is dead. One of your friends is not fully there. Isn't fully there in their thoughts and everything. And so the game starts you off like that in that story event. And as you keep going through that story, it just gets worse and worse, because they have to do their last stand to protect humanity, to let them go into underground hiding. So they help them out, they protect from all the attackers, the usual. They do all of that, and it turns out by the end, they get betrayed. They don't even get to go into the bunker like they thought they would. They just get to have statues made of them and not allowed into the bunker, and have to just roam outside with all the threats going on. Insane. That's crazy, but that's not even what drags you in, because what drags you in is the team's a mess. The team is not put together. They are arguing. They are not working together. One of them, in this case, the R-rank Nikkes, or what they're called, the mass-produced Nikkes, named Pina? I believe it's Pina, but I'll go with Pina. Anyways, one of the mass-produced Nikkes, Pina, starts talking to them and telling them, hey, this isn't working. We see how you guys are acting, and it's messing with our vibes as well. So could you please get it together? And Dorothy's look, Dorothy makes a friend out of Pina. In this hard time, she makes a really good friend out of Pina, which is super cool. And then at some point, Pina dies.
We will not be defeated by anyone now.
Actually, I'll go with Pina. Pina dies. She passes away. But Dorothy, unable to handle that, decides to still see Pina. In her mind, Pina's still there, No one else can hear or see her, but Dorothy has hallucinated Pina to exist in that situation and telling her what to do. So, you know, no one says anything. They're all confused and they're like, what the heck is she talking about? But they don't break the news to her after she's in this delusion. They don't re-break it to her. So they just accept it. And then eventually, after they're betrayed, they all decide, all right, we'll just leave. We'll go wander the land and keep tabs on each other and try to find places to rebuild and such. They all split up. Dorothy plans to go with Pina, doesn't leave for a little bit, but when she realizes Pina is dead, eventually it sinks in because she reminisces about the fact that Pina died. And then that like switch in her brain kind of like, oh wait, you're not actually here, you're dead. So she decides to take off, depressed, in pain. She looks like the artwork for that scene looks so haunting for Dorothy. And then she sees a sign about saying, welcome to the Ark, humanity's last hope, or something like that. And she snaps, she loses it. She now makes her whole goal for revenge against the Ark. And especially Oswald, the person who communicated with her and then betrayed her by keeping her out. She snaps. And then her whole goal now in the series is to just destroy the Ark or tear down the Ark or something. It's not clear, but her goal feels like she wants to destroy the Ark. She finds Eden, an overground like area where they can go ahead and like, what you call it? It's an overground like civilization where people can live and stay safe due to like cloaking devices and stuff. But she's trying to promote it. So at some point, Dorothy collects like information on the Ark and everything. But at some point, she plans it all that Nihilister gets out, starts making... Nihilister being a heretic, which is just someone who attacks the Ark. At some point, this heretic gets into the Ark, gets out and everything. And as they're about to destroy the Ark and everything in there, Dorothy comes from the sky, shoots down Nihilister, looking like she just kills her. And everyone's like, yippee, Dorothy, wahoo! Everyone's like really happy about this fact. And so they start praising her, they bring her into the Ark. They start welcoming her as a real ambassador and everything. Oh, they're so sus of her and keeping tabs on her and everything, right? So that's still happening, but like, that's Dorothy. I love that they chose to make a story about betrayal. Because all the Nikke, all of them, right? They're all like, oh, the commander, oh, the player character, they're so cool, oh my god. Dorothy doesn't care. Dorothy doesn't care about the player character. Dorothy's only there for her mission and revenge, and I think that's so cool to have a character in like this style of game that's there for like that mission. And it's such like a... It's so reasonable, the reason like she's a valid crash out, as some may say. It's such a valid crash out for the reason she's like angry at the Ark. Because not only was she betrayed, she had to defend them. She couldn't even like save Pina because they didn't like let them. They provided no help to them over time. It was just Pina dies. And they couldn't save Pina because the Ark didn't send any help. Dorothy appears in some other stories here and there. Not too many. They keep her a little in the main story. She hangs out with everyone. Eventually, one of her friends comes back who she didn't think would ever come back. And she has this hope that she could maybe save... Not save, but like go back to the way things were. They say no. So it doesn't happen. But then she just decides to focus 100% on her goal after that. The one hope she had got ripped away from her. And it also devastated her as well because of it. And then you see her a little bit in like Red Hood's story as well. The 1.0 anniversary event. The 1 year anniversary event. Why did I say 1.0? The 1 year anniversary event. You see her a little in there too, mostly because it covers the events of Goddess Squad, and she's part of the original Goddess Squad. But yeah, you learn about her from there a little bit more too. Not too focused around her because it's not a story about her. Ooh, and then just recently, they did a Nikke does swimsuit events, obviously. But their summer swimsuit event this time around was very focused around a ghost ship with Dorothy in there as well. You got Dorothy, you got Rappy, you got some other people as well. Dorothy and Rappy being like big ones in there, right? But as they're in that area and that ship, and you know, Dorothy is there for a reason, you know? Dorothy wouldn't just join them on any trip. Dorothy's there because she saw a little hologram ghost, because it's a ghost ship. They make hologram ghosts of people who were on the ship before, and instead you can now see them again. She sees a little ghost of Pina. It turns out it's not Pina. But Dorothy, you know, wanting to spend time with Pina after not being able to see her for years because she's dead, goes onto the ship, holds up the whole thing because they're trying to get rid of all the hologram ghosts to like save the ship and free their souls or something like that. She doesn't want to get rid of this person who isn't Pina. It's just someone who looks like Pina because Pina's a mass-produced Nikke, which means a lot of people share her face. A lot of Nikke share her face, you know? Dorothy knows this, by the way. It's stated very clearly that Dorothy knows that it ain't Pina, and that she's only doing it in like just to kind of have something. She acknowledges it's not Pina, but she's just happy to have something. Anything, because she doesn't get a lot, you know? She gets a very small amount. Eventually she has to sacrifice her. You get a really cool little artwork about that as well. But she eventually sacrifices her. And then you learn in like the last little bit that Dorothy has decided to trust Rappy and by extension, the commander with her little secret. That her goal is to destroy the Ark, or bring down the Ark, or change the Ark. Leaving it up to them if they decide to stop her, because they kept parading on the ship about how they're there for Dorothy, how Dorothy could talk to them. And this is because Rappy is part Red Hood, because stuff happened. And she has like, I don't know if she has her memories, but she has a lot of her personality traits now, and it's like a good mixture of the characters. But yeah, they tell Dorothy they can confide to them, and then they're happy they told her, but they don't know if they'll have to stop Dorothy or if they'll just let it slide. They kind of determined it's the bridge they'll cross when they get to it. So for now, that is where Dorothy's story is on hold. Dorothy is in the Ark, preparing, advertising Eden for other Ark civilians if they ever wanted to go there. People are trying to look into her and see like, hey, what's happening with Dorothy? The higher up management is like trying to look into her and trying to like get an idea of like, why is she here? Why does she want to be here? And all of that. So yeah, that's Dorothy. A character that I absolutely adore for her story and just how different she is from all the other Nikke who are like very like player character, oh my god, focused versus like, hey, this is a character that got released on a 0.5 anniversary with a depressing backstory who's crazy. Okay, her crazy and evil looks also make me like her a lot as well. But a character who like got released on the anniversary, the 0.5 anniversary, got this insane, well done backstory. Who you have as this like big threat, just kind of sizzling and bubbling in the background. I like my villain characters, and she ranks very highly on villains. But she's like definitely a villain that's like preparing to attack, you know, versus like a villain that's like, oh, you already know everything and blah, 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 and this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and you're gonna attack. It's like, you don't know Dorothy's exact way she's gonna approach taking down the Ark, whether it means revealing their secrets and telling the world exactly what happened to the Goddess Squad that they so worship so well, how they didn't agree or sign up to any of what the Ark did to them with the whole, like, locking them out, right? So it's always a little nice curiosity to see how she'll approach this whole idea of like tearing down the Ark. But you can see she's been making, if you play the game or if you watch the stories, you can see she's been making a lot of allies in the Ark for that eventual time when she finally strikes. But she's a really cool character. She has a lot of cool designs and skins. Not too many. She has one skin, technically speaking, and then the other alternative version of her, which is the swimsuit. But I maxed her. I maxed her out. But she's so cool. I absolutely adore that character. Every time... Sometimes I don't immediately watch Nikke stories because, I don't know, don't feel like it. Have other things to do. If you tell me Dorothy is in the next chapter story or whatever, I'm watching it. I'm gonna go watch it and catch up on what's happening because I need to see. She's genuinely a character that I find myself just loving the concept, the idea of, the execution of. By far one of my absolute favorites, and like I think my favorite in all of like gacha games. But I mean, I think that's it. I've ranted about Dorothy a lot. I've told you her whole story. I love her. I've spent a lot of money on her. Some may say. Others may say not enough. But this is my obsession. This is my gacha character obsession for sure. There's characters in other media I definitely like, but as far as gacha games go, she's my #1. At least gacha original. I'm sure like what Lelouch shows up in collaborations, so technically he would be one of my he would technically be more of my favorite character in a gacha game, but I mean originates from like a whole different media, so I wouldn't count that, you know. I'm only counting the characters that originate in the gacha game. Although I guess if you make a gacha game, no, I don't count the games that are like, oh, they made it like that. But that's just preference, right? I don't count the games that are like made around a property or IP that like already exists from a different piece of media, and like you like the characters in there as well. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening to me ramble about Dorothy while playing this chandelier mini game for the last 18 minutes? 20-ish minutes? I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Next week's topic, I should have another one ready to go. But yeah, think I'm running a bit low on topics, to be honest. So if you wanted to suggest any, give me a couple suggestions or anything, feel free to do so in the comments, in the Discord, on Twitter, on Blue Sky. I appreciate all suggestions, and hopefully I can get to them if I can feel I can cover the topic well. But yeah, that's me. Thank you for watching. Like and comment and subscribe if you feel like it. I hear it helps the algorithm or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys next week for the next Fade Yaps. That's pretty much it. Bye, bye, bye. Take care, take care.